So we have a crazy situation going on back on Genshin Twitter / Hoyoverse Twitter, where some voice actors all mad and raging at people online. But first, some additional context to all of this. Hopefully you've been keeping up with my videos covering the disastrous Genshin boycott over the last month or so, where we covered how performative the entire thing's been, and what a failure it's been too. Something that some people on Twitter got extremely mad at me about, trying to insult me and send death threats and all that typical boring stuff. But it's especially funny because now most of them are actually admitting that myself and the people who agreed with me have been right the entire time. So as more and more people on Genshin Twitter admit that the boycott failed, now we're seeing some Genshin voice actors attempting to rally the troops, so to speak. It's very disingenuous in my opinion, because if you really look at what some of these voice actors have done, as well as some of the Hoyo content creators too, well, they essentially put in the most minimal amount of effort possible into the boycott, basically making like a few tweets near the beginning, but still going on to voice for Hoyoverse and make Hoyoverse content. In other words, making the company money and promoting it. The very company that they claim to support boycotting against. Meanwhile, they expect people on Hoyoverse Twitter to do all of the actual heavy lifting. You could say those specific VAs and content creators use the whole boycott for social media clout and treated everyone else like a tool. It's pretty messed up, but thankfully a lot of Hoyo Twitter is starting to realize this. Anyways, as mentioned, as more and more people are jumping off ship from the boycott, now some of these voice actors are conveniently making a few tweets about it once again, which takes us to the current situation. So we got this tweet from Courtney Lynn, who says, "Oof, jumping back on Twitter to say your voices matter, and I'm so proud of our community for using theirs. Retweet, email, speak up, our community is strong." To which Normal Degen Behavior says, "So proud of my community. My community is so powerful and brave for getting rid of you. It's wonderful to let all voices be heard, but not yours. What a wonderful community. My community loves my community." And love is love, and community is community, and we love our community. So yeah, it sounds kind of crazy. I think he's memeing around a little bit there, but it does include a screenshot with the highlighted area reading, "Change the English voice actors for Agents Lucy and Sukaku and replace the corresponding voice lines." So according to videogames.si, Lynn was voicing those two Hoyoverse characters, and she was then replaced by the company. They don't specify why, but it's important to note that it doesn't look like she willingly stepped down. From the way this is being handled, it looks like Hoyoverse did let her go. They also go on to write how Lynn hasn't said anything about being cut from the Hoyoverse games, and they say that it's unlikely to do with the recent SAG-AFTRA gaming strike, as the dubs are being handled by Sound Cadence Studios and Rocket Sound, both of which are not struck. So it's rather unclear what exactly occurred here. But if she willingly stepped down, it seems likely that she would have also made a statement about doing so. However, once again, there's been no such thing. So now going back to the set of tweets with Courtney Lynn in Normal Degen, he got a response from another voice actor, Valeria Rodriguez. And she's the one who's going all rage mode as mentioned at the start of this video, leaving this response to him that's so exceptional and lame that I'm going to have TTS repeat it so that I don't have to. So please bear with the voice, it's only going to go on for a few seconds.
"You're a frickin' loser who is going to die alone, and I would bet $1,000 that you are incredibly depressed and hate yourself. Get therapy or rot alone in your bedroom, but leave nice people out of it, nerd. That or have the balls to say this shit in person, not behind a profile pic."
Now people are responding to Valeria's freakout. For example, Haru47 saying ENVAs be like, "Why does nobody like us?" And then proceed to say stuff like this. Jethro saying, "Wow, modern VAs are fragile and unprofessional. They also don't sound that great, but that's an entirely different issue." Jekko saying, "Weird how all the best adverts for replacing English voice actors with AI comes from English voice actors themselves." Normal Degen Behavior also responding, saying, "If I ever fly off on toxic rants like this, you have full permission to get me fired from Mihoyo and also replace my voice with someone less unhinged." Just for anyone who might be confused out there, I don't think he's actually a Mihoyo voice actor. I think he's memeing around once again. However, please correct me if I'm wrong about that. He'd get a response that reads, "They get real defensive when their select group of untouchables finally face the consequences of their actions. The nerve and delusion is crazy." With Normal Degen then responding, saying, "I was just being memey and over the top too. You know, like a joke." These are the same people who celebrated 40 times harder and sincerely when Vic was blacklisted. Well, as the backlash to Valeria would proliferate more and more, it looks like she would then go on her Twitter account and attempt to get her followers to join in. As for Courtney Lynn, this is all inadvertently making her look better, because despite some of the responses that she was getting to her seemingly performative activism, at least she hasn't gone full rage mode, full aggro, something that Valeria isn't able to say. The situation actually gets worse though, because Valeria would make a tweet later on, accusing all of her critics of just being racist trolls. Obviously, criticizing performative activism doesn't make anyone racist. And as a matter of fact, similar to what we discussed in the beginning of this video, a lot of the Hoyoverse boycotters have also recently been calling out performative activism and discussing how it didn't help the movement at all. I guess to Valeria, they would all also be racist too. There's other posts that Valeria has made in her rage-induced tweeting spree. However, I'm going to wrap this up soon to save us all that brain rot. The point is, it looks like she's willingly gaslighting her own followers, accusing all of the critics once again of being racists, and trying to rile up her own followers as her own sort of personal army. In closing, here's Normal Degen's final statement on this entire thing. Dear Diary, today I made an English Genshin Impact voice actor mad by memeing around. Hundreds of simps are now calling middle school baby rage powerful and talking that talk, making the contrast between the two posts even more apparent. I'm very proud of this. Can't wait for AI. On a final note regarding Courtney Lynn, as we already went over, the evidence that outlets have posted seemed to indicate that she was let go. But if by any chance she actually stepped down from her roles to support the Hoyoverse boycott, then I'll give her full credit for not being performative and for really taking action. If that's the case, hopefully she'll make a statement clarifying such. And I'll leave it there. As always, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this coverage, consider liking and subscribing. Appreciate ya. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.